Hey, my name is Dennis, and this is my semi-cinematic, where I analyze visual information and how they relate to emotions. Now, there are already a lot of great video essays on the internet out there that look into plot lines or specific camera techniques, but I think we're missing a lot about the emotions themselves, namely how the visual content, the pictures relate to us as viewers, what they make us think and feel, so to speak. Anyway, the movie series I want to talk to you about today is a great example of visual comedy, Blake Atwood's Pink Panther series. If you haven't seen it, it's somewhat a slapstick crime comedy following the misadventures of Inspector Clouseau, played by Peter Sellers. And if you don't know Peter Sellers yet, he's great. The guy is seriously hilarious. Now, there are two visual techniques I want to bring up today that are commonly used to create emotions. The first is shooting emotions in portrait, and the second is doing that with a profile shot from the side of a character's face. Normally, if we want to underlie a character's emotion, we focus on the face. We bring the camera to the front and add a sequence of actions to build up the emotion. It kind of gives a nice visual narrative, just like in this scene. If you haven't seen it, let's look at it again. Portrait shot, followed by a point of view perspective down to the saw, back to the portrait, and then the fall. The emotion becomes clear. But why do we focus on the face instead of another part of the body? In general, most of our emotional cues are located there, so shooting a portrait captures the intensity and identity of the emotion with more ease. It's a better way for us to empathize with the character's emotions. Add a slow zoom towards the face, operator following the tear, and perfect. This scene is amazing. In contrast, if we shoot a scene facing a character's back, it becomes increasingly harder to identify the emotion. Is he laughing? Or is he crying? Well, we can't really tell because we can't see what's going on in the face, which may create for a nice twist. Somewhat better is playing a scene from the side of a character's face and profile. It's still a bit stiff and has a certain alienation to it, but we can make out the emotions. That's pretty nice considering that only about half of the visual cues from the face are visible. We can work with that, right? Notice how the movements are exaggerated and hasty? That's a good method to make up for the lack of facial cues and give the audience more to work with. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of the Pink Panther series and Peter Sellers. It's a great show in terms of getting back to the basics of directing and visual comedy. Maybe that's why the movie gives off the impression of being shot while considering the viewers. I'd wish more directors would consider how and how much visual information is presented to their audiences. After all, the more visual information we hide or remove, the less emotions we can convey to them. Thank you.